Imagine living in a city longer than the Grand Canyon, taller than the Empire State Building, and stretching across 75 miles of pristine desert. Not science fiction, friends, but a $1 trillion mega project called The Line, rising in the heart of Saudi Arabia. Is this ambitious utopia a beacon of the future, or a fool's errand in the sand? Can 5 million people truly thrive in a linear metropolis? And who exactly is footing the bill for this audacious dream? Join us as we explore the secrets, struggles, and potential of this groundbreaking project. Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey to the future of megacities. Introduction to Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 and NEOM. Saudi Arabia boasts an incredibly ambitious transformation initiative known as Vision 2030, unveiled in 2016, aimed at diversifying the nation's economy beyond oil dependency. One of the key components of this vision is NEOM, meaning New Future, a visionary smart city comprising 3 colossal mega projects. The initial phase involves constructing an 8-sided industrial complex called the Octagon, a floating marvel serving as a port for shipping routes through the Red Sea. NEOM will also feature a prominent outdoor skiing destination named Johina, promising year-round entertainment and events. However, the most extravagant aspect of NEOM is the Mirror Line. Officially introduced in January 2021 and recently detailed with remarkable features. This concept entails the erection of 2,500-meter-high mirrored buildings arranged in parallel fashion across 100 kilometers of desert terrain, forming a linear city with a 200-meter gap between structures. Envisioned to accommodate 9 million residents, the linear city will stretch from the Gulf of Aqaba on the Red Sea coast, traversing mountains and deserts. The mirrored facades will be linked by walkways with vertically constructed interiors housing public parks, offices, and residences stacked on top of each other. Notably, the plan also emphasizes sustainability, incorporating cutting-edge technology and vertical farming integrated into the 500-meter-high walls to provide sustenance for the inhabitants. Mirror Line features and concept. Furthermore, the envisioned structure is set to feature a marina for yachts and a sports stadium elevated up to 305 meters above the ground. Yet, the question remains, is it a feasible project, or will it ever come to fruition? The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has hailed the Mirror Line as a revolutionary advancement in civilization. However, despite the lofty aspirations, the Mirror Line appears more akin to an expansive wonderland straight out of a fiction book. Saudi Arabia aims to realize parts of this ambitious project by 2030, intending to accommodate over 1 million tenants. Nevertheless, considering the colossal promises within a limited time frame, skepticism arises. Comparison with previous skyscraper projects. Saudi Arabia's recent track record in constructing extraordinary skyscrapers has faced challenges, as evidenced by the stalled progress of the Jeddah Tower, initially intended to be the world's tallest building. In contrast, Saudi Arabia already boasts the 4th tallest skyscraper globally. The Mirror Line, an unprecedented architectural marvel in history, draws parallels to the grand plans of the Illinois over 60 years ago, which aimed for a staggering 1-mile height. While the Mirror Line may, for now, be confined to paper, or in this instance, 3D renderings and marketing videos, it has garnered global attention, with approximately 50 million people viewing one of its trailers. So, why does Saudi Arabia propose such an extraordinary project with seemingly unattainable promises? Since Mohammed bin Salman assumed leadership, Saudi Arabia has embarked on an image rebranding initiative. Ambitious ventures like the Mirror Line are integral to this rebranding effort, guaranteed to capture international attention. Saudi Arabia seeks to present itself as a nation with diverse offerings and aims to pivot the economy towards tourism. Currently, most visitors to the country undertake pilgrimages. With headline-grabbing announcements like the Mirror Line, Saudi Arabia aspires to reshape its global image. The project also holds personal significance for Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who likens it to some of the Middle East's most monumental project, referring to the Mirror Line as quote-unquote, "my pyramids." NEOM as Saudi Arabia's architectural landmark. NEOM aspires to be Saudi Arabia's distinctive architectural landmark, and the unveiling of an extraordinary project within its bounds serves to heighten anticipation. Additionally, the NEOM website emphasizes that NEOM represents a vision of a potential new future, suggesting a research aspect into alternative city structures and modern transportation concepts. The introduction of the Mirror Line has undeniably captured global attention for Saudi Arabia. However, the overall response has been predominantly negative, leaving numerous questions unanswered. While the ambition is to construct a city with a 100% sustainable transport system and zero emissions, estimates from Oldfield at the University of New South Wales indicate that building the Mirror Line could result in emitting nearly 2 billion tons of CO2, surpassing 4 years of total CO2 emissions in the United Kingdom. The promise of establishing a carbon-neutral city loses credibility when confronted with these substantial construction emissions. Negative responses. Critics are swift to highlight Saudi Arabia's human rights record, calculating the potential human cost of the country's plans. Indigenous tribes residing in the region for centuries are being displaced, with around 20,000 people compelled to make way for NEOM, according to foreign policy. Allegations of Saudi security forces fatally shooting at least one protester opposing the development have further marred the project. The country's failure to implement effective labor reforms has resulted in widespread abuse of migrant workers. To date, authorities have presented no roadmap for addressing this issue. The contentious human rights record becomes a significant hurdle in securing funds for the trillion-dollar mega project. Despite hopes of attracting foreign investors, Saudi Arabia faces resistance and boycotts from the Western world, hindering economic partnerships. Even if funds are secured, many aspects of NEOM and the Mirror Line are considered too intricate to materialize as initially envisioned. Most commentators anticipate that the finalized design will diverge significantly from those showcased in media platforms. Realistic evaluation. Judging from the available evidence, it appears that Saudi Arabia lacks the requisite expertise to translate most of its recent ambitious proposals into tangible realities. Even with external assistance, the sheer scale of the Mirror Line project renders it unfeasible to complete within the next few decades. An essential query regarding the Mirror Line pertains to whether people would genuinely desire to inhabit such a locale. Currently, the Mirror Line seems more like a conceptual exploration of alternative living arrangements. However, when assessed realistically, the project appears excessively ambitious and grapples with numerous issues, including the aforementioned human rights violations and its overall viability. As of now, achieving this endeavor seems unattainable, and a more pragmatic approach may involve integrating some of these futuristic concepts into Saudi Arabia's existing urban centers. What are your thoughts on the Mirror Line? Do you believe it can become a reality, or is it just a fantasy from science fiction? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.